violation of our procedures for commissioners to be able to address questions to the applicant as part of that part of the hearing. So,
Can I ask the question?
sure.
You know, it's been said that we need to stay on topic of the agendized item and the motion before us. So I would just say that to discuss something that's not quite on the topic of the agenda does preclude other people to be able to talk about those things. And that's my understanding about trying to stay on the agenda topic. So I would just like to say that, you know, I understand you wear multiple hats, but we're at the Planning Commission hearing. We're not at a different meeting.
That's fine. Call the roll.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Covell,
Yes.
and Chair Warner.
Yes. Okay, that moves us on to the second item, item 5.2, similar to the first one. We have a presentation on 5.2.
Thank you. Okay, this next application before you tonight is for the short-term rental permit STR 26-003 for the property located at 1351 El Bonita Court. The applicant is requesting approval to operate a short-term rental within an existing one-bedroom, one-bathroom attached apartment on the property. The unit is located on the north side of the home, and the project includes 2 on-site tandem parking spaces, which meet the city's requirement. The property is zoned medium-density residential and has a general plan designation of medium-density residential as well. It's located within a residential neighborhood that is also primarily medium-density residential, and the site is currently developed with a single-family home and the attached unit. Only the attached unit is what is being proposed for the short-term rental. Up on the screen, you'll be able to see a layout of the parking and then an aerial view of the site itself, the yellow call-out square on the right-hand side of the screen. That is the area of the short-term rental. It's approximately going to be around 400 square feet for the short-term rental itself. The access to the rental will be on the left side of the property through the side yard. And then the tandem parking spots are in the driveway on the right-hand side. Here's the floor plan of the unit. It has 1 bedroom with a living area and the 1 bathroom and a small kitchenette. This project as well has 6 findings needed in order to approve. The project complies with short-term rental standards called out in St. Helena Municipal Code Section 17.22.200. It's consistent with the general plan, including protections on housing supply. It will not impact any historic resources. It is compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. It provides visitor accommodations and will generate TOT revenue. And there is no evidence of prior unpermitted short-term rental activity by the applicant. And staff was able to support all these findings in the staff report. Staff recommends approving the short-term rental permit at 1351 El Bonita Court, including action to approve a categorical exemption pursuant to Section 15061B3 of the state CEQA guidelines based on the findings and subject to conditions of approval. That concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions, and I believe the applicant is here as well.
Before opening it up for public comment or the applicant, any clarifying questions from commissioners? I had one clarifying question, just a procedural one, and I know that we do this each time, but do we keep documentation of the notification to adjacent owners of these applications? And does the planning the development department keep those, or does somebody else keep those?
Yeah, so we keep them. Short-term rentals are a little bit different than our normal public hearing notices. It's a full sheet. It has the project description, how many rooms, address, who the applicant is, and then it also has a blurb asking if there are any comments that they be submitted to the city staff, as well as the map that's shown on this slide here.
Do we have, do we send this by just first-class mail? or-
Yes.
And so do we keep a record of any returned without,
Yeah, any mail that's returned, we keep. Any
okay.
comments that are submitted by mail, we keep those as well, and those are usually attached with the record. We didn't receive any public comments on this. And it's also sent out in a 300-foot radius, same as the other standard noticing
Very good,
procedures.
thank you. I have no other clarifying questions. Anyone else with any clarifying questions? Okay, we'll open up for public comment, and any comments from the public or the applicant? Seeing none, unless we have any, unless commissioners have any questions for the applicant. Go up to the microphone, if you will.
I'm Mark Larson, owner of property. I don't really have any comments unless there's any opposition.
Okay. Welcome. Seeing no other public comments, I'll, oh, good, go ahead. If you have public comment, please come and address the commission.
Oh, wait, no, I want to do this jointly, meaning, I,
Could you please state your name for the
Celeste
record?
Neely.
Right,
I
excellent.
live behind you.
Oh, you do? Hi.
Hi, neighbor, nice to meet you.
Celeste, nice to meet you.
Cameo, that's right,
Yes,
my cat.
okay.
So,
Right.
are you the musicians that I
Yeah.
hear? Okay, so I just was not entirely aware of the property, and I'm not here in opposition. It was just more trying to understand, because I've never really been able to ascertain who lives there. I hear the beautiful music, but then I also hear people doing a lot of tree cutting, so I just wasn't sure, like, is a property just one house and this is just the addition, or are there already multiples?
It's one single-family home,
Uh-huh,
and one of the corner bedrooms was expanded many years ago in the 90s when this is our family home.
yeah, yeah.
My grandparents came to live there when they got elderly, and that has been a long-term rental for a
Okay.
while now. But it's been kind of hard to keep people in there. There's no range, there's no washer and dryer situation, so people stay for, an amount of time, and then they decide to move on. So we feel like this running a B&B kind of thing is advantageous to our needs.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I just was
And,
curious.
Speak into the microphone so we catch
I
on.
just was curious because,
Okay.
like I said, it's not for me to be in specifically their business to know what the layout is, and I don't know what due diligence is done as far as visiting people's homes and saying, like, what is this or what is that? So obviously, these have been great neighbors with beautiful music provided free for me, so that was just more of a clarification that I didn't know, that the council would or wouldn't have as well. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
letting
for
me
speaking
comment.
up.
Yeah.
Thank you for your comments, and somewhat facetiously, I'll assure the applicant that we do not have authority to impose any conditions on the quality of the music that's performed at your premise.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, that's outside our topic. Okay, if any other public comments?
Is the clock going to start this time? Because it hasn't been 4 minutes for some of these conversations. I made an earlier comment about TOT and looking at the higher end properties. But what I personally like about this project is that it sounds like Airbnb back in the day when it really was, people hosting guests in their homes and making a little more money for themselves, and providing an opportunity. And it actually sounds like a really nice opportunity for people to stay in your home, and then the city is going to get the benefit of some TOT, but also the benefit of knowing that we are kind of going back to our roots. And not just this, high-end tourist luxe destination. So I am totally in support of this one, and I have a pretty good feeling that you guys are going to approve it. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment. If no other public comments, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the commission for deliberation, comments, discussion.
I like the fact that, well, our notices are always going out, well, the city, because I've even gotten a few when there's construction at 300 feet around, but usually people respond not at all, or they ignore it, and then I like that neighbors came to kind of meet neighbors here and discuss the plan and love your music and all that. I think that's a great thing. I hope more residents are as attentive as you are, and yeah, it makes it a lot easier for us more ease as a resident and the commissioner to approve these kind of thing when you see that community coming together to discuss what's going on or what the layout is and what's affected. But I do believe it's a good opportunity because of the space. You've gotten to know it. You try to make it long-term, but there's just not enough there. And to do the plumbing and all that doesn't make sense. So making it a quick stay and then they could go back home, wash their clothes or whatever, sounds like a great deal. So I'm glad that this all happened.
Other comments, if any? I might make a similar comment. I value Mr. Mann's point about TOT revenue because it becomes a double win, as she's pointed out, for both of these projects, a win-win. And there are different ways to basically accommodate visitors, and I agree with Mr. Mann that this is one of the least impactful and easiest way to attract visitors to our city in a way that's very efficient, is consistent with our community character, is also not intrusive, but also delivers a little bit of change to our community that would otherwise come if you had a hotel development or something else. So thank you for those comments. If no other comments, I'll ask if there's a motion.
No, go ahead. No, you go. You're doing so great.
I make a motion that we approve, according to staff recommendations, the short-term rental of STR 26-003 at 1351 El Bonita Court, AP Ed 009431004, including action to approve a categorical exemption pursuant to section 15061B3 of the state CEQA guidelines based on our staff recommendations.
Second.
Okay, call the roll.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Covell,
Yes.
and Chair Warner.
Yes. Thank you. Those are those items. I might just make a comment. I really compliment staff for providing very thorough, concise, and direct staff report that was knowledgeable, covered the bases. I also want to compliment the commenters, but also the applicants for having a thorough application and appreciate your interest. All right, that moves on to scheduled items. We have no other scheduled items. The next is reports by staff or committee. We don't have Mr. McCann here. He's necessarily conflicted with another meeting, but do we have any reports by staff or committee?
I do have a couple. So we previously had noticed in the Star that we were going to be having the zoning matrix update and discussion session. And we decided that because our new director will be coming on here shortly, we're going to kind of let her get her feet wet and bring it to you once she's had a second to digest our entire zoning ordinance. So I just kind of wanted to throw that one out there. It'll probably be in the next couple months, but just so she has time to take a look at it, we'll definitely let you know beforehand, just so you have time. But I would say probably at the earliest sometime in May, so either the first or second meeting.
Very good, and I think that what we as commissioners have already agreed we should do, we're going to look for a comprehensive staff report that takes into account comments we've received. But each of us, I know, as commissioners has various items that we'd like to see. We'll bring that to our group discussion when we have our meeting. And I think what's really going to be of interest is to have everybody participate in providing actual recommendations, if any, on changes, modifications, revisions to the zoning code. And that's going to be something that I think will be valuable, because not only will we take additional public comments, but I think we ourselves need to be knowledgeable about the details of the zoning code. And Ms. Covell, you set the standard for us when you first brought this up. I think all of us need to follow your standard and basically do our homework on the zoning code details. Any other comments on scheduled items? I think reports by staff and committee. I think that may also cover item 8, which is agenda forecast and commission requests. Anything further on either 7 or 8?
Do we know when our next meeting is? Like, do we have another one this month?
Yeah, so there will be one on April 21st. I believe we have at least one public hearing item on that one so far for entitlements. The noticing for that happened this last week, so there will be no other public items added besides that one. Looking forward to May. I believe we'll have a major sign permit for you, and possibly the Matrix, as well as 1 or 2 other entitlements. But we're kind of scheduled out until the beginning of June right now, so I would expect a meeting almost twice a month.
Very good. But we're not excused from doing our homework on the details of the zoning code update.
I have one more thing. I reminded myself there's a meeting on April 9th, Thursday at 6 p.m. at the Carnegie Hall, right?
Yes, thank you. That's the notice of preparation scoping meeting for the Castellucci project. You guys are more than welcome to come in residential capacity. As far as the public wanting to speak to you as commissioners, highly recommend against it, just because this will be a project that comes before you at some point. But the intent of this meeting is to allow for public comments and concerns to be brought to the planner's attention, so that we can address those concerns in the draft EIR.
I have a question about that, and it really goes to a discussion we had previously about record keeping, and I'm really happy that we now, at the end of each set of minutes, we're providing a link to the video. I spoke with Andrew Bradley just at the beginning of this meeting, because our current agenda portal doesn't allow direct reference to past agenda videos, because they're too voluminous to put up on that system. You still can get them on YouTube, St. Helena, and that's important. But for this particular meeting, which is actually a very important scoping meeting, and I agree that we need to kind of avoid, unless we really feel personally we want to get involved, avoid being perceived there to be in any way prejudging or directing or advising on the scope. But is the meeting actually recorded?
Yeah, it will be recorded. It's going to be at the Carnegie Building.
No, this meeting will not be recorded.
So,
And also earlier, Michelle, I believe the meeting starts either at 4 or 4:30. If you want to send me it's just Thursday's meeting, correct? 4/9? Yes. So it's 4 or 4:30. I will send you an email to confirm the time. I'm working with the contract planner on that. So, but it's not at 6 p.m. and it won't be recorded either.
Oh, it's interesting because the email I got from Jim says 6 p.m.
It is 6 p.m. That's what we put in the notice.
all right, we can.
I will go ahead and get back to you on that. As contract planner, we had arranged it at 4:30, but I will send out an email tomorrow once I confirm with her. Unless that's changed and I wasn't notified, but.
So I'm okay on not recording, and it's extra burden, but I do want to emphasize that as we move forward in what is more of a digital world, and with major projects, what I've seen is that major projects, when you have them at the very beginning with people commenting, obviously our consultants take comments and write them down, but I've noticed in a number of the larger projects, the commenters, the members of the public, don't always agree with how their comments were presented in the meeting. And I don't advocate that every public input meeting have a recording, but when it's a major project, I don't really see, now you have to go through the hoops of asking everybody at the meeting if they consent to being recorded. And that's sometimes a challenge, because if any one person consents to not being recorded, you cannot record them.
I did just go back and take a look when we set up the meeting. It doesn't explicitly say that it's being recorded, so I may be mistaken on the recording part. But I am looking for the notice, so I should have an answer for
Well,
you on the
and-
time.
And it's very interesting. I have to, with my legal background, I have to kind of contradict myself a little bit. There's always the question of whether there are expectations of privacy at what is otherwise a fully public meeting. So for example, the public meeting is publicly noticed and available to news media. Well, no one can stop the news media from videotaping or recording it and then making it available publicly. So I just want to throw that. I don't want to change anything. It's too late to change the schedule, but I just want to anticipate on major projects. And I saw this going back through the record of the zoning code update itself. There were multiple public meetings that had various summaries of the public comments. And I think there were members of the public in that process who said, well, that wasn't exactly what I was commenting or requesting, or it wasn't taken into account fully. So I'm fine, but down the road, I think it's going to become very normal for any major project that has a public meeting, even if it's not a decisional meeting, to have some digital record of it. So
Yeah,
don't change.
the reason why it's not being recorded is because at the Carnegie Building, we do not have the, all the digital, part of,
Well-
like, that we have here. It's pretty bare bones, so that's why, if the meetings were held here, that could be a possibility, but we can definitely look at that for
I was gonna
future
say, I
meetings.
understand. I would loan you in my GoPro camera and
Can I ask one quick
Sure, go ahead.
question? I know that this was notified in the newspaper, the meeting, and then notified to neighbors. I'm just curious, is it going to, I didn't see it in the newsletter. Did it go out in the newsletter, or can it be posted online on like the Facebook pages or Nextdoor? I just want to make sure, you know, because I think before on other projects, neighbors said we didn't get a notification, or maybe it was just a little postcard, they didn't see it, or we're not paying for a subscription to Press Democrat or the Star or something, so we didn't know. And so I just want to make sure if it is a public announcement that, you know, it goes to all the places that are free and accessible for everybody, that it's not just, I don't pay for Press Democrat. So, and so I just want to make sure everybody has a chance to, and it seems like Nextdoor is a good place. And then, I mean, because Andrew puts like the water forum, the water table meeting, which I thought was really great. Like there was a good amount of people showing up to that. And yeah, and also in the Facebook, because just everybody knows in the Planning Commissioner's Handbook says public outreach in the beginning of the project is really important. And this is, I just want to make sure like everybody is, you know, notified in whatever free and paid means.
That's a great idea. You know, it's too late for the Star because its Star comes out on Thursday, but
And it's not free.
yeah, what?
It's not free.
And it's not free, exactly. But you know, we do little buttons or flyers on the top of the website that notify people of certain events, and to the extent that we have a Facebook and Instagram site, and also it's not going to be in time for the weekly newsletter either. But it would be good if we put some, if you could check with Andrew, put something at the top of the website, and if there's a way to post something on Instagram and Facebook for whatever we have on Instagram or Facebook. I agree with Commissioner Covell, because again, people are notified, but people don't notice necessarily. And so you have to repeatedly notify them of something that's happening that's of interest to them. So just check on it. I don't think it takes a lot of effort to put something up on the website and on our social media. Any of us could probably put something on Nextdoor that would say, here's the link to the notice for the meeting. Just a suggestion.
Yes, I will check with Andrew tomorrow, and I will also double check on the time. I may be wrong on that,
Okay.
but we will confirm tomorrow. It might be at 6.
I just checked the notice, it's at 6.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great suggestion. Anything else on our last two items? And again, reminding everybody that do our homework. And if not, as Commissioner Pott used to say, come to the favorite part of the meeting, which is item 9, adjournment, and I'm not going to use I'm going to adjourn. Any other comments before we adjourn? No, okay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, staff, for a good, efficient meeting.